Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I just want to go over two simple tricks on how I change the color of a car if it needs to be, and also how I lower cars to make them have a little bit more of an aggressive look if they need it. So basically the first one's pretty simple. The first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to select the car. If you do this without selecting the car, you're going to notice that some stuff in the background that has the same channel color might start shifting in colors, and you want to make sure. Sometimes you won't catch it with your eye, and then next thing you know, you change a color grade in the background. But so the first thing you want to do is make sure your car is selected. Then you're going to go to hue and saturation. This tactic works really nice when you already have a car with a saturated color. So since Kyle's Lamborghini here is blue, it's going to play really nicely with what I want to do. I'm just going to take the hue and saturation, and we're just going to slide it, and you see we get a nice variety of colors to work with. If we wanted to make it, lighter blue, teal, any shade really, green, yellow, orange, but you can notice that sometimes you don't get the best shade. It depends on the saturation of the car and how the car is being lit, but you can see here that this is more like a mustard than a yellow. So if you wanted to try to get it a little bit more vibrant and in the saturation that you're really looking for, you can run another selection, and let's just try a curve. You're gonna put the curve on color mode, and we will try to add a little bit more yellow to this vehicle. So something like that. Maybe we'll add a little bit of red in it, green actually, and then little brightness. There you go. So you can see how I'm able to further manipulate. It's a very light, so I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but you can further manipulate what's happening there. And then honestly, you can run another saturation on that, go down to the yellow channel and start messing with the yellow channel specifically, because now the car is yellow, right? So now we can further tweak a yellow car for that instance. So that's the way I would go about changing the color of the car if it needs to be changed, or if you even want to just see what your car would look like with a different shade. The one thing to note here, and I didn't say it before, is since I didn't select out the windows for this specific little trick, you'd have to go in and edit the color out of your windows. You'd have to edit it out of your headlights, your little side markers, because you could see it's starting to change the tint out of those things too. So sometimes you'll get, if you have like a colored cast in your grill, you'll need to layer mask that out, as well as like these vents if you're starting to get like a little yellow tone in there and it's not supposed to be. But yeah, so that is the way I would do that. Alright, so the next thing I want to show you guys is how I lower a vehicle. I like to use this when I'm shooting some commercial stuff or some car that is a stock vehicle, essentially, that I want to lower that wheel gap. I want to have a better wheel to fender relationship where the car looks a little bit more aggressive. It doesn't need to be slammed and stanced out with the wheels tucking, but I like to reduce the gap a little bit. Some cars are better than others. This R8 looks fantastic. It's got a nice track stance. I do not think that this needs to be slammed, but I just want to show you guys. I think this would be a good photo to show how that goes about and lower this one a little bit more than it already is. So what you're going to need to do is you need to drag the whole top half of the photo down basically together. And the way that we're going to do that is by selecting it out. And I'll speed the video up, but basically we want to take this and select where our horizon meets our sky. And then we need to come around in the car and select half of the car out. And then when we get out here, we need to find that horizon line again, and wherever that horizon line meets our vehicle, kick it to the side and select the whole top half of the photo. So I will delete this layer and I will speed this part up. Okay, so there we go. Now that we have the selection, what you're going to do is you're going to hit Control C or whatever you need to do to copy that selection on a main layer, Control V, and now if I clicked all of these off, you'll see that all that's left is the top portion. So now that we have that, and mind you, this is a very rough selection. I'm doing this as fast as I possibly can. So you probably want to spend a little bit more time. But now, when I have that layer that's over my background layer selected, we are going to hit the down arrow keys as much as we'd like to lower the vehicle. And you'll see it start to slowly lower. I'm going to do 5 clicks. So now it's not perfect. There's some other things that we need to do. So now when we zoom in, you'll see when I click on and off, we are dragging those parts of the images down, and it kind of just matches up nicely because you're just dragging it down to more asphalt, right? There's a couple issues though that you need to watch out for, and we're going to do that with the clone stamp. We are going to make a duplicate layer and merge those 2 layers. So now I have mine lowered layer and my layer that's hidden behind the lower layer with a normal car basically. So we are going to zoom in now, and you'll see like when we did that move, this edge is maybe a little too sharp now. So now I'll go in with like a 50% clone stamp tool, and we'll sample the ground there. And again, I'm going to do this really fast, but you should probably spend a little bit more time on this, and we're going to fade that back in to how it was looking originally. Just going to fade that back, and when you're zoomed out, you're probably not going to see this at all, even though we're doing it quick. We're going to go back to 100%. You could see right here specifically, there's the old molding, or the old, I don't know why I keep calling it a molding, but it's a curb. There's the old curb there, so we're going to take some of the ground from here, and we're just going to get rid of that. We're going to build our grass back up there. We're just going to kind of say it was like a little bush or something. Again, when you're out here, you're not going to even notice it. Then over here, we kind of have the same thing. I'm going to clean that up. We're going to just clean that spot up. More curb that didn't get dragged down. And then on our vehicle, we're going to inspect those spots. So the back looks like it's pretty good minus the wheel right here. So we're going to grab the eraser, and you can see where we chop it. It's right here along the tire. We just need to get that tire back in like that. So that was all that was wrong with the rear. Sometimes there's more stuff wrong with the rear, but you can see here we got a chopped wheel and this little double molding door jamb there. So what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to select out this little area, and again, I'm being very quick. I'm going to select out that little area, and we're just going to dump black in there. A new layer. Then I'm going to grab my clone stamp, and we're just going to kind of finish that off. And we're just going to finish this off, try to clean it up a little bit. You just get that weird gap when we pulled down there, and just try to make it a little bit more even. Got this here. And there we go. So that's looking pretty good. Then we're going to get the eraser tool again. And another little trick to see, sometimes it's hard to tell what you're missing. You can click on and off, obviously, to see what you're missing, but you can also, another trick I like to do is put it down to 50%, and now we can see where our tire was. And then you can come back in if you want to be extremely precise, which you probably do. You can go back in, see where that tire really was, select it out, and then erase that part so that the tire comes back in front of the paint like that. Now we'll lift it back to 100%, and our tires should be intact. And you can see I'm doing this kind of fast, but right here specifically, like, should probably be green. There should probably be green right there, and then it fades off to black, but you get the idea. You got to kind of build that one little section out. When I click on and off, you got to kind of build that one little section back in to the photo. Sometimes you know, what I'll do is I'll just extend this whole piece right to the tire. So it's like the tire's still blocking it. I'll show you guys that too. So it's like the tires, you know, the side skirt there still continues, but the tire's now in front of it, so you don't know where it ends, right? Something like that. You need to come back up in here and do it here. I'm doing this extremely quick, so bear with me. Something like that. Just gotta come here because that's that body line right there. You guys, I think, get the idea, but you'll basically come in and try to build what the tire's hiding there. You see if I zoom out there, it needs more time, and you shouldn't go this fast on it, but you're gonna try to build it so that the tire's blocking that section there. And that looks pretty good actually from out here. Needs a bit more work, but that'll be good enough to get the picture across. So then we'll look over here, and you'll see, I see two little problem areas, and that's right by the headlight and right under that headlight. Right here and right here are two issues. So we're gonna go back in and clone over that with the pavement. And on these long body lines, what I like to do is I like to sample, and then if you hold shift, click, and then you keep holding shift and click, you can do straight lines with your you know, if I'll show you guys this. Like if I do sample the green and I come down here and I do shift, click, click, it'll give me a perfect straight line. So like when I'm clone stamping around some of these straight edges on the vehicle, I love doing that just to make sure that it's like going to be perfectly straight if it's a straight body line. Obviously I can't do that right here because it's curved, but right there was the other issue. And now that's looking pretty good. Got to look at this little horizon or curb, and that looks, I have no issues with that. That looks all pretty good. And now I'll click this on and off for you guys, and you guys can see that we lowered the car and the whole background comes with us. And it's a nice little trick. Like I said, it's cool if you want to see what maybe your car or a friend's car looks like lowered and are trying to decide if you want to lower the vehicle. I personally use it very softly. Even this is almost too much. I use it very softly, like to try to lower stock ride height vehicles. Like if I'm shooting something for Audi or Porsche, back when I was at the dealership, I would, you know, be shooting a lot of stock ride height cars, and I think that they needed a little 1 inch and a half drop to just give them an aggressive look. I love doing this little tactic on that. So I'm going to click this on and off a couple more times. And yeah, I appreciate you guys checking this out. And I'm hoping to get some more of these little quick tips out for you guys. So let me know what you guys think, and hope you guys enjoyed the video. And thanks for stopping by.